Use Google Sites as your free LibGuide platform. Want to provide LibGuides to help your patrons get started with assignments or research a topic? Your library budget can't afford the cost of LibGuide software, such as SpringShare? Then use Google Sites as your LibGuide platform. This tutorial will show you step-by-step instructions. Set up a free Google account if you don't have one yet. Once it is set up, click on the square at the top right side of the web page near your name. This is to give you access to the Google apps. Sites is one of them. Click on the Sites Picture app. You can make as many sites as you want. Here are mine. So the freshman English teacher at St. Dominic Savio Catholic High School, where I am the librarian, has assigned a paper about Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare, and Elizabethan era background. She asked me to help the students get started with the assigned research, gave me the assignment as the students see it, her rubric, and assignments to assist with the assignment. I open the Savio Library Research Guide site where I have the LibGuides for assignments and topics. It looks like this as the public sees it. You add pages by clicking on the second picture at the top right. Create page. The LibGuides for assignments I have on my Subject Guides page. And scroll down to the bottom of the page because Google Sites post more pages there. I've made pages for each department, so I click on English/Literature. This takes you to the home page for the department where I have some general English resources. Scroll down to get to each teacher's page. Click on the page and it takes you to the home page for that teacher. I have made a home page for this teacher, so I scroll down to see the pages for the assignments LibGuides. Click on the page of the assignment. This is the view of my patrons. To add more resources, click on the little pencil picture at the top right. Now the page looks like this. Put your cursor where you need to add a resource. I add many credible websites, so on Google Sites, that's called adding a link. I find it the easiest to load the Google search engine in another tab on my browser because I need to keep going back and forth from Google search to adding selected resources on the LibGuide. In the Google search box, put terms from the assignment. I usually add LibGuides to these because it cuts down on my time to sift through the results to find something useful. So I put Romeo and Juliet LibGuides. Since our school, Savio, is a college prep high school, I first click on the ones from college and university libraries. The one from UC Davis looks good, so I click on that. Once there, I look for pages tabs on their LibGuides, usually labeled open source, web-based, or here as online sources. I see some useful resources for our students I'd like to add to my LibGuide. I click on the one for Internet Shakespeare editions. I usually have to open it in another tab on my browser so I don't lose track of where I began my research. I read through the page and see that the page they call the library would be useful to add. Since this page looks really useful by giving the viewer access to the text, facsimiles that work like free ebooks, context, and criticism, I decided this resource would be really helpful to my students. To add it to my LibGuides, I name it on my sites with how it is titled on the web page and who wrote or published it to the World Wide Web. So I go back to the tab where I have my edit page open on my site. I like my LibGuides organized, so I try to put them into categories. Then I look for an appropriate place to add it. Since this page gives access to the full text, Shakespearean background, and criticism, I decide that the heading I named Web-Based Resources would be the best. I have the headings bolded to bring those to the attention of the patron. I put my cursor where I want to add it. Click on the Add a Link button when you are on the Edit feature of the site. Add it on as a web address. In the Text to Display box, I copy and paste the title of the web resource. This will be what the patrons see, so gear your wording toward what would be helpful to them. I add the title as the web page, a hyphen, and the author of the web resource, organization, or whomever published the web page. In the link to this URL, copy and paste the web address link. Then I check mark in the box in front of Open this link in a new window, since it's easy to lose track of where you began your research, and it's not always possible to use the back button to find the page where you were before you began to research. Then click on OK. It now appears as the first link under my web-based resources. Click on Save at the top of the site's Edit menu to publish to your LibGuide. Once you've saved it, now the world, your patrons, or whomever you have shared the link to your LibGuide site can see, research, and use it for assignments, research, and lifelong learning. Files for assignments, ebooks in PDF files, and any other useful file for the patron's research are added at the bottom of the site's pages. Any librarian, teacher, administrator, and student with a Google account can build these sites. I ask our IT director to upload the link to the LibGuides onto the school's library's webpage. I name them Savio Library Research Guides, which we use interchangeably with the term LibGuides at the school. I have many pages loaded onto my LibGuides sites pages. This is not to duplicate what we already have in print, but to extend the library with on-point, web-based resources. I always tell the students that they can do their homework for assigned papers and projects anywhere in the world they have internet access. In doing this, I have added value to the Savio Library by providing online resources without the school having to pay extra for any of it. You can do the same too for your library, classroom, school, institution, or personal learning.